Hello students, welcome to the series Basic Electrical Engineering series of lectures here. So today we will see last class we have seen how the induced EMF you got and you understand the meaning of what is the meaning of cycle. So just we will see how you are getting. So with this diagram you can understand clearly. So this coil positions during the rotation. So if you observe here the position of the coil, so the position of the coil is exactly in parallel with the field lines. So field lines are traveling from north pole to south pole. So they are in parallel with respect to the surface of the conductor plane. That's why you are getting at this position the induced EMF is 0 here. After rotation of 90 degrees, you can observe here. So the conductors are exactly, that is the surface of the conductors is, if the field lines are like this, so the surface conductors will be exactly, they are perpendicular. So they are like this. So they are exactly perpendicular, they are making some 90 degrees angle. So that's why you are getting the induced EMF is maximum here. So after some rotation, after 90 degrees rotation, so you are getting 180 degrees. At this 180 degrees position you can observe the same position of A, but the conductor positions are shifted. Okay, the conductor positions are shifted here. So once again you are getting the 180 degrees here. So after 180 degrees, if you add plus 90, so here just I am adding plus 90 degrees, so 270 degrees. At 270 degrees if you observe, they are definitely the conductor positions are shifted from the position B. For example, just take the example, conductors are AB here on this side, CD on this side. So now what is happening, CD is coming on this side, AB is comes under this side. So that is what you are getting, the induced EMF is a negative value and it is of a negative maximum you are getting at the 270 degrees. So after that you are having, so once again the position A is repeated, that's why I have shown here. So the position A, and here after 360 degrees also you can see the same position of A, you are getting the, so once again the induced EMF is 0. So here you are having this is of maximum value, that is of maximum value. Okay, some terminology we are showing here. So it is of maximum value and you are having some magnitude. Okay, so at different point of time, so if you see, observe this, at different point it is having some magnitude. And you know the what is the meaning of the cycle. Cycle means, so one positive half cycle and negative half cycle, we can call it as the one complete cycle. So the time taken to complete one cycle is called as the time period. Okay, so the time period is over. Next, frequency, the number of cycles. Okay, the number of cycles per second, we can call it as the frequency. The number of, so I can write here, the number of cycles per second, we can call it as the frequency. So frequency and the time period, they both are inversely proportional. We know the relation. Frequency is measured in hertz. Okay, so time period is time, we will measure in normally in seconds. Okay, so number of cycles per second, so we can call it as the frequency. So this is the some terminology which is very useful for the alternating voltages. Okay, so that is so this is of a maximum value, which is of maximum value here. So you can see here also you will have one more maximum value, but it is of a negative maximum. So here we can write it as minus Emax, we can write it as minus Emax value. So with this position of the conductors, you can understand betterly how you are getting the induced EMF is an alternating one. If you see the DC, so just I have written here DC. So DC is having a constant value at any point of time, but if you observe AC, it is having different values. So different values at different instantaneous of times. So it is having different values. You observe here, just I am highlighting the points, it is having a different values at different instant of times. That type of quantities we can call it as the alternating quantities. So this is a mathematical equation, just we are written. So I will show the proof now how you are getting this mathematical equation. E is equals to E max sin theta, just I have written, this is the mathematical equation I told so yesterday's class. So last class I told it as E induced EMF is maximum. So theta, if you substitute theta values, different values, just I have taken one tabular column. By substituting theta values or different values, you are getting, so you can see here different values. So what is the different values? 180, 225, 270, 315, 360, like that you are going to get. After 180 degrees you are getting a negative value. So that is what is shown here. So different positions of the conductor and you are getting the induced EMF. Just for giving more clarity, just I have taken this diagram. Next you see, so this is of very important today. So equation of, so for this only, equation of alternating voltage and current, equation of alternating voltage and current. Just I am telling every time, this is the induced EMF equation. How you are getting that induced EMF, that is also very important. See, this is the conductor surface, this is the conductor surface, okay. So this is the flux lines, okay, just I am showing here, this is the flux lines, and this is the conductor, this is the active length of the conductor. So whenever this conductor position, whenever it is exactly in phase, that is x-axis in phase with x-axis, so there is no problem. So at this position, at that condition, this theta value, theta is 0 at that condition, that means it is not making any angle. So whenever this is rotating with, so this is rotating with angular velocity, omega angular velocity, so it is rotating, this conductor is rotating with angular velocity omega, so in anti-clockwise direction. So after making some other angle, so it is making some other angle here. If you observe here, for this conductor, it is having two components, one is horizontal component, another is the vertical component. So here if you observe here, this is of horizontal component and this is of the vertical component. So here just I am highlighting the vertical component, it is not here written here, phi max sin theta. It is having two components. So it is having two components, one is vertical component, another is the horizontal component. So this component is, that is vertical component is exactly in parallel. So whenever it is rotated, whenever it is moving on rotated in the anti-clockwise direction, what will happen? This will coincides with the field lines. That means this component is coincides with the field lines. That means the induced EMF we cannot, but if you observe this component, it is making on increasing. So whenever this phi max cos theta is making some new angles, whenever it is the conductor is moving in the anti-clockwise direction. That's why, so this horizontal component is very important, so which is making so some other angles with respect to so field lines. So this component is, which is produces an EMF is induced in the coil. That means it is perpendicular with respect to the field line. So let us write, so two components we have. So let us write, so just I already told flux linkages. We will write the flux linkages with the conductor. So flux linkages is actually N into phi, where N is the number of turns, phi is the flux. So for phi we are having two components, one is, this is a horizontal component, another is the vertical component. Vertical component there is no need because it is exactly in parallel with the field line, but when you see the horizontal component, it is making some different angle. That's why we are considering N into phi max cos theta, N into phi max cos theta. So this is of flux linkages, just I have written the flux linkages here. So according to Faraday's laws, so yesterday I have given, according to Faraday's laws, what it is saying, so induced EMF is, we are saying it as, that is d lambda divided by dt, d lambda divided by dt, and negative sign. Why this negative sign we are taking? This negative sign is due to Lenz's law. So what is the cause? It is a production. What is the statement of Lenz's law is saying that what is the cause of production of this induced EMF? This flux linkages. So okay, because of this flux linkages the induced EMF is produced. That's why it is opposing. To indicate that opposition we are representing with this negative sign. So you know the Lenz's law from the basic classes also. So E is equals to, we can write as minus d phi by dt. Just I am substituting n into phi max cos theta here instead of lambda. So here I am not changing any number of turns, is it right? So just I am taking out, n is taken out because I am not changing any number of turns cos theta. So n into minus n phi max, because maximum flux also is not changed, only d phi by dt into cos theta, d phi by dt into cos theta. And theta we can write it as theta is equals to omega t. So just you substitute that also, minus n into phi m d by dt of cos omega t, cos omega t. So cos omega t we have written here, d by dt of cos omega t. So next, if you see here, induced EMF we can write here minus n phi m d by dt of minus cos omega t only. Sorry, here it is not minus sign is not there here. Okay, right. So cos omega t minus n phi m. So what is the differentiation of cos omega t? That is, for omega t you are getting omega, for cos you are getting minus sin omega t, minus sin omega t. So here minus sign will get cancelled. So minus sign and minus sign will get cancelled here. So whatever you are getting, n into phi m omega sin theta we can write. Theta, if omega t is theta. So this value E max we can write as E max sin theta. Finally you are getting E max sin theta. So induced, what is the E max value? E max value is n into phi max into omega, n into phi max into omega. So this is how you are getting. So this is of E max value is known as the maximum induced EMF. When you are going to get, when theta is equals to 90 degrees, you are going to get the E max value, that is n into phi max into omega, where omega we can write as the angular frequency. Angular frequency can write as 2 pi f. 2 pi f also can be written as 1 by t also, because frequency and inversely time period are inversely proportional. Like this also you can write. So here question comes, how to represent the AC quantities, that is, so if you take the DC here, so DC quantities will be having the magnitude. So let us see the DC. So the time period, so with respect to either voltage or current, if you take, it is having a constant value, that is why there is no problem to represent the DC quantities. But when you come for the AC quantities, it is having a different values at a different instantaneous of time. So that is what we have seen. So it is having different values at different instant times. So how to represent this magnitude? So there are three ways to represent this magnitude. So one terminology is peak value. So peak value or maximum value we have seen. So this is of peak value for any sinusoidal signal. We have seen the peak value, and you can use the another is average value. So you can take the average value of a sinusoidal signal, and another is the RMS value or root mean square value or effective value. All these names will comes for RMS value only. So RMS value or effective value, don't get confused. Effective value also same as the RMS value only. So to represent the magnitude of the AC, we are taking this different values. So peak value you know already, so there is no need to explanation of the peak value. So let us move on to the average value. How we will calculate the average value? How to take the this average value definition is first we will take, then we will go for the derivation of the average value. So let us take how to take the average value. Average value of a sinusoidal signal. We will find, first I will define the average value sinusoidal signal. So average value means, first definition is average value, area under the average value will be defined as area under the curve, area under the curve divided by base, area under the curve divided by base. So there is some difficulties there for finding the average value. So average value if you calculate for symmetrical waves, so here comes what is the meaning of the symmetrical waves and what is the meaning of asymmetrical waves. So here symmetrical waves means, so if you have symmetrical waves means if you have same positive half cycle, that means if you consider a sinusoidal signal like this, so it is having a positive half cycle and negative half cycle of same area. If I calculate the average value for complete one cycle, you will get the average value is 0. That type of average value is 0. That type of waves we can call it as the symmetrical waves. But when you take for asymmetrical waves, so if you calculate asymmetrical waves means they are not having, so just take the square signal, they are not having the same positive half cycle and same negative. You see this area, this is the positive half cycle and this is of negative half cycle. They are not having the same area under the positive half cycle and negative half cycle. So if you calculate the average value for complete cycle also, it won't be 0. That means average value will not become 0 in the case of this asymmetrical waves. So here you should understand, for symmetrical waves average value to be calculated only for half cycle. For asymmetrical waves you have to take for one complete cycle. That is what you have to understand. So that is the basic difference between the symmetrical waves and asymmetrical waves. So let us write different formulas. First we will write for symmetrical wave, how to calculate the average value for symmetrical wave. For symmetrical wave, how to calculate the average value is area under one alternation divided by base length of one alternation, base length of one alternation, base length of one alternation. When we come for the asymmetrical waves, when you come for asymmetrical, let us see how to take the asymmetrical. So for asymmetrical wave you have to take the area under one cycle here divided by base length of one cycle. I think so you understand now. Base length of one cycle, base length of one cycle. So that means, so for symmetrical wave it is enough to calculate half cycle. For asymmetrical wave you have to calculate for complete cycle. This is the basic definition of the average value. So average value is, it is giving the area under one alternation divided by base length of one alternation for symmetrical wave. For asymmetrical wave, area under one cycle divided by base length of one complete cycle. Now come for how to calculate for a sinusoidal signal. How to calculate a sinusoidal signal, average value for a sinusoidal signal. Sinusoidal signal will comes under the symmetrical wave because it is having a positive half cycle and negative half cycle, they both are equal. So just draw the diagram here, just I am drawing the diagram. So for symmetrical wave, so this is theta with respect to theta, and either you consider either current or voltage, just I am considering the current equation, and this is of a sinusoidal signal. So whenever you have a sinusoidal signal, for calculating the area, just I am considering one strip, just I am considering, just I will take this strip, then I will calculate. So this length of the strip, we are taking it as the length of the strip is d theta, and just this is of current waveform d theta length, just I have considered d theta, then I will apply. So just take the limits 0 to pi and pi to 2 pi here. So I already told this is of positive half cycle, negative half cycle, they both are same. So that's why it is enough to calculate only for half cycle. So if you take for half cycle, it is enough. So sinusoidal signal, if you calculate the average value, we have to apply only for half cycle. So let us write the equations here. So here I is equals to, just I am writing Im sin theta. This is the mathematical equation we are already seen. So this mathematical equation, so now I want to find area under one half cycle, So how we will find? A mathematical tool is, we can use the integration. So integration, just I find from 0 to pi, it's enough because only for half cycle, that is Im sin theta d theta, So just you take Im sin theta, integration is minus cos theta. So limits, if you apply 0 to pi, so if you apply the limits, finally you will get it as 2 times of Im, and so average value, we are already given the definition, that is average value is equals to, what is average value? So area under one half cycle divided by base length of one half cycle. So area under half cycle, we got it as 2 by Im. Base length is pi here because the base length, if you observe here, the base length is pi. So that is what we have shown here. So here what is this total? 2 Im by pi, Im by pi by 2. If you calculate this value, you will get it as 0.637 times of I max. So I average value you are getting of 0.637 times of Im. Then you will get the doubt, sir, why you are taken this strip? So this strip is used here to calculate area of strip. So area of strip, just I have taken. So area of strip is, so this is of, so length I into d theta, this is the area of strip. So area of strip, just I have taken, that is substituted here. So just I extended this area of strip for the length of pi, total length of this pi I extended. So because I require the area under this entire half cycle, okay, that is what I have done. That is the purpose we are taken. What is the strip? What is the purpose of strip we have taken? As it is a symmetrical wave, if you calculate the area under complete, that is one cycle, you will get the 0. That's why we are taken the only half cycle. So average value, it is for I average is 0.637 times of, or 63.7 percentage times of the maximum value. So this is of, it is applicable for voltage also. So V average is equals to, we can write as V max into 0.637, that is also valid, or 63.7% of V max, that is known as the average value. That's all for today's class. We will stop for today. In the next class we will see what is the RMS value and what is the form factor and what is the peak factor. Thank you very much.